Alrighty, folks, it is Thursday night, the 1st of July. Hey, welcome to Hunting the Rut Hotline. My name's Don Bell.
Hey, Steve Burklow.
And folks, we're gonna can you believe half the year's already gone?
Man, I can't believe it.
It is. It's here.
Yeah.
I mean, people. Hey, next week they'll start bush hogging and start getting ready to work in plots.
Yeah, it'll be about officially kicked off, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Historically, July 4th. After July 5th, man, all retailers in America is geared toward the fall.
Getting ready for deer hunting.
They're getting ready. They're making that shift from fishing and turkey stuff to fall. Mm-hmm. So it's all about it. Folks, listen, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to talk about where we are today in the year in the life of a whitetail. We're going to take calls and try to catch up on some emails and Facebooks, and we'll talk to you live in just one moment. Be right back.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
Alrighty, folks, can you believe it's July the 2nd? Thursday.
That it is.
That it is, Thursday night. It comes around every week, Steve.
Man, it does.
And look, we say this all the time, and it is still amazing to me when them things you kind of pinch yourself. They call in from everywhere.
I mean, all over the
I was talking to one of our accounts the other day, and he said he was talking about the show, and I thought he was talking about one of the television shows we sponsor. No, he was talking about Hunting the Rut Hotline and how neat it was and all the diversity of people calling in. And it's true. Guys, as you'll see again tonight, they call in from everywhere. That's what this show's about. It's all about you asking what deer are doing. The year in the life of a whitetail, it is different today, Steve, than what it was in January when season ended. Bucks are already 6 months into the process, well into developing the antlers, and grow an inch a day. So one of the things we want to tell people, Steve, is to remind everybody is that we have an upcoming seminar schedule, and we've started posting it up on the screen here for everybody. And as you see, the first one we're going to kick off this year is in Pennsylvania, Denver, PA. And that's going to be on July the 24th. It's around the corner. It's just 3 weeks away. And if you live anywhere near Denver, PA, make plans to come in. We're going to be doing a live Hunting the Rut seminar. It's going to be at Weaver's store. As you can see on the screen there, an extremely nice store. Everybody benefits from that store being in that area. It's a draw. You want to come 7 o'clock, get there a little bit early to get a seat. And what we'll be talking about is a systematic, what you and I, Steve, are doing in the course of 12 months, talking about what a deer is doing each week, we'll do in an hour talking about pre-peak and post-rut, how to use scents and lures, grunting, rattling, how to hunt scrapes, secondary, primary, why scent works, why it don't work. Sometimes it doesn't, why. But we're going to do it in the context of Denver, Pennsylvania.
It's a great seminar, boy. It really breaks it down.
So guys, make plans to be there, and you can see the other seminars that was listed, and if we're coming to a town near you, and if you want us to come, all you've got to do is just be able to look and ask your dealer in your area. He can give us a buzz, and we'll be more than happy to discuss the possibility of coming in the store and certainly making sure that he's got you plenty of top secret to be able to use this hunting season. Hey, call your dealer. He can call us, or you can call us, and we'll call them.
You'll learn something. You'll learn something of this show.
We'll get you some products. So it is already the 2nd of July.
It is.
And so what we want to do is to be able to kind of catch people up where they are. And let's see here. Guys, we're going to start off with a Facebook question, okay?
Facebook. Here we go. All right, it says, do you use the deer scent every time you go out?
You do use deer scent every time you go out, and which one should they use?
I sure try to.
Which one should they use?
Buck earing opening day.
Every day.
Boy, I did opening day last year, that buck earing. It worked
every
great.
day, and what part of the country?
Everywhere.
Any part of the country. Today's July 2nd, you can go out today anywhere in America, put buck earing out, any buck's going to come to it. On your property, young or old, it's going to come to buck earing today 1st of July.
Yeah.
Reason, they're in bachelor groups. The bachelor group doesn't start in the fall, it starts after season. So they've been running together since January all over the country. And so you put buck earring out, any buck's going to come to it, not to fight, just see who your kid is. Of course, the closer you get to the peak of the rut, it's like coming home smelling Old Spice. It makes him mad, so it's more aggressive. But absolutely, you want to use that every day, every time you go out, every day you hunt, buck earring. Of course, you add estrus once he starts chasing that doe.
Yep.
All right, I believe we got our first caller.
Yep.
All righty, clicking right along, ain't we?
There it is.
All right. All right, you got Don Bell and Steve Burklow. Who we got?
Got Tim Woodard from Foster, West Virginia.
All righty,
Wow.
West Virginia. What part of West Virginia is that?
The southern part, just out of the capital,
You,
the center just about.
are you southeast? Are you near Blakely?
I'm northwest of Beckley.
Okay. All right, well, we're glad to have you on today. What kind of question you got for us?
Well, I'd like to know when is the best to use your deer scent, before, during, or after the pre-rut?
Well, first of all, Kim, good question. And the question is, when do you use our scent? And the answer to that is you use scent every day of the hunting season. Literally, every day. You bow hunt?
Yes, I do.
So archery season in West Virginia comes in, late September?
Yeah, it runs to the first of the year.
Okay, late September, right. So literally, every day you go hunt in West Virginia, you use buck earring. Literally, and we're not kidding with this, every day you go in the woods, you use buck earring. And the reason for it is when the opening day of bow season, just like today, you could take our buck earring, July 2nd, and go out and use buck earring today, and any buck on the piece of property you hunt will come to it. The reason for it, they're in bachelor groups. And so they're not coming to it to be mad, they're just coming to see who the new kid is. Of course, you don't care why you're coming, you just want to shoot him. So any buck, it'll start off good, pre, peak, and post rut. You use it every time you go in the woods. The closer it gets to the peak of the rut, what does he do to it?
He's going to get mad with it.
He's going to get mad. It's like coming home smelling Old Spice. So, and you also, do you use a grunt call?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever had any problem, grunting and bucks not coming in? What kind of success have you had with grunting?
Well, I've had some good success, and at times I've had no success.
Yep. A lot of people, grunting is sort of like a hit and miss proposition, and there's a lot of hunters that grunt that's never seen a buck come into it. But grunting is an infringement. Probably 95% of grunts in America, I don't care who makes them, you go to any retailer and you buy it, probably 95% of those, no matter what they're made out of the color, they're a tending grunt. Which means when you grunt and Steve's the dominant buck, you're telling Steve another buck is tending his doe, which is an infringement, right? So when you get up in the tree and Steve's got 3 defenses, ears, eyes, nose, you can whip his ears by grunting, but what you've told him is another buck's tending his doe, which is an infringement. So guess what Steve's going to do? What's Steve going to do?
I'm going to use buck earring.
Use that deer scent.
Right. So what happens is, Steve, when you grunt, Steve's going to go downwind.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's going downwind.
Looking for that buck.
Yeah, Steve's looking, he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. That's the reason he's going downwind. So think about it. You grunt, not only you, but anybody success or not successful with a grunt, you grunt, he goes downwind. The number one scent sold in America, you know what it is? Estrus. And most people think the rut is when a buck's chasing a doe. So what they do is they get up in the tree and either A, they don't use any scent, or B, they use estrus. All right, now let's go back to grunting. I grunt, Steve goes downwind. What I just told Steve was another buck's tending his doe. That's an infringement. So Steve goes downwind because he wants to smell what he's hearing, right? So now he goes downwind, and Steve has no scent out. So his nose overrides his ears, and he's thinking, well, you thinking the grunt don't work. Or you put estrus out, and Steve goes downwind. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
All right, that'd be like you coming home from a football game tonight. About midnight, you walk in, you smell Old Spice cologne, flip the light on, see your wife. You're not looking for your wife, are you?
No.
No. So same way with that buck. When you use estrus in grunting, he goes downwind. What he's trying to do is to confirm the infringement, which is buck urine. So anytime you grunt and rattle, you want to use buck urine, which means you use buck urine every day of the year. It's going to start off good, and it's going to get better. He's going to be more aggressive to it as season progresses. But once he starts chasing does, Steve,
Add estrus.
add estrus to it. So you never quit using buck, and you don't pour them together. You just trail them in together and hang them together, or put it in a scrape together. That way you got a buck chasing a duck. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I've made mock scrapes before, and I tend, on one time, I think I run everything out of there.
Well, look, a mock scrape is, especially during pre-rut, is good. And even on up once you find a master bedroom, you can come around and put scrapes in and around, mock scrapes in and around that. But the easiest thing to do when you find a primary scrape, or what we call a master bedroom, where that buck's underneath an overhanging limb, just put buck urine in it.
Right.
You can put estrus in it, but put that buck urine in it. That's an infringement. But, buck urine sometimes will, and I'm clarifying that, sometimes buck urine will run a subordinate buck off. And that should not concern hunters. For years, people ask me, will that happen? And the answer to that is yes. And they get all bothered, Steve, because they think, well, wait a minute, I don't want to run my little buck off. Well, if you think about it, if you're up in a tree and you put buck urine out, and Steve's a little buck and he comes by, and all of a sudden he gets alarmed, tucks his tail and haul butts, most hunters go, well, dang, that's bad. But that's actually good. So what does that tell you when that happens? It tells you that's right. He knows there's a bigger one there, and he don't want his butt kicked. So it's not, on the face of it, it looks like it's a bad thing, but it tells you that he recognizes that there's a bigger buck. It's not just what he smells, but it is when and where he smells it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I want you to, when you hang up, go to the drugstore. I don't know, whichever the closest drugstore, and I want you to walk in and to the cologne department. I want you to open up a bottle of Old Spice cologne, smell it. I bet you I don't see you on Fox News tonight where you knock somebody upside the head, in Walmart pharmacy department. There's no reason to knock somebody upside the head just because you're smelling Old Spice, right? But let your butt go home tonight after that football game and walk in your master bedroom and smell it, and now y'all been out of shape. Why? It's not what you smell, but it's when and where you smell it. It makes a difference.
Right.
Bingo. Sometimes we overcomplicate it. A whitetail is a whitetail is a whitetail. Doesn't matter if he's in South Alabama, Illinois, or by God, West Virginia. Right? Other than he got a lot more muscles climbing them hills. Well, them ain't hills, them are mountains, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some.
You got some what?
We have some nice deer here in the state.
No, sir. You certainly do. You guys are a real sleeper. What county are you in?
I'm in Boone. I hunt in Lincoln County, and
Boone, Lincoln are both fine counties, man. Of course, I ain't got to tell you that. Both fine counties. The only difference in a whitetail is topography, and you're blessed to have that. You take somebody like Steve and I from, South Alabama, North Florida, relatively flat, and we come to West Virginia, and we've never hunted West Virginia. We would do well to listen to you to tell us how to set up on that buck based off of the topography. But we know how he acts. His ears, eyes, nose. Nose being the most important.
Yeah.
But the only other difference is topography and pressure. So get you some buck urine and use it every day of the year.
Yes, sir.
And grunt with it. You'll have a lot of
Yeah.
you'll have a
All right.
lot of fun with it.
Absolutely.
Any other questions you might have?
I'm retarded and
Pretty well.
I can do that.
You're pretty what?
I said I am retarded, so I got all kinds of time to hunt.
Well, that's
listen.
great.
Listen, you're our guy.
That's
Man,
right.
if you don't mind, we just gonna live through you because we're still working. So you just go out there and just whack and stack, send us photographs.
All right, I'll try that.
Hey, you can go to your local sporting goods store for top. Do you have a store local that you can get Top Secret from?
We have a Cabela's and
Yep.
Walmart.
Cabela's will have full end caps of it. So your local Cabela store will have it, or your local sporting goods store will have it. Top Secret, you are familiar with Top Secret?
Yes.
Yeah, oxygen free. It is a game changer. That says the deer's there while you're there, versus dark urine says the deer was there. Clear yellow urine says he's there.
That's it.
So
That's simple.
big difference. Big difference. Well, look, man, we appreciate you calling in. Any other questions you might have?
No, sir, and I thank y'all for having me.
Hey, we appreciate it. Tell everybody up there in West Virginia. Tell them all about Top Secret and how to get it and where to get it. And if they don't know, call us and we'll get them some.
That's right.
All right.
All right, man.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so much
Tim.
for calling in.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
too, bud.
All right. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. We're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
All right, folks. We're back. We just talked to a big guy in West Virginia.
Yep.
Our kind of guy. Doggone it, he's retired.
Yep, there he is.
He ain't got plenty of time to go hunting. Don't it make you sick?
Dadgummit.
Yeah,
Don't give him some
gummit.
buck urine, though. Get
Yeah,
out
he
there.
yeah, go get him some buck here and get him some meat and put it on the table. Fry that bad boy up. All right, let's see. I believe we got a telephone call coming in. And
Yep, there it is.
that's what that means in there. Got a telephone coming in. All righty, you got Don Bell and Steve Burklow. Who we got?
This is Steve Wagner.
Big
Hey,
Steve.
man.
Well, how you doing? Greenwood.
Good. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing good. Greenwood, Indiana. What part of the state's that in?
It's pretty much right in the middle.
All right.
Stephen, have we talked to you one time before?
Yes, sir.
You're over there. You're south. You're just a little bit southwest of Indiana. No, that would be. Where are you in relation to Crane, Indiana? that's-
Franklin?
No, Crane. That's over near the Navy base.
That's kind of northeast of Crane.
Okay. Yeah. All right. One of the astronauts is from somewhere over there, just outside north of Crane. You pass. I used to leave Louisville every weekend and go to.
Bedford, Indiana.
Yeah, Bedford. That's right. Glenn was one of them, but we're talking about something totally different. All right. Well, look here. Say what kind of question you got for us?
Well, question is, I hunted excuse me, I hunted a buck last year. He's about a 170 class.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, he's a big one.
He's a boy dog.
I hunted the wind right. I knew his bedding area, his feeding area, where he staged at, and I seen him numerous times, but I never could get him within bow range. and it's about a 400-acre patch of woods, and just never could get the deal closed.
Are you're bow hunting? How big is the piece of property that you're hunting? Are you pulling him off of somebody else, or are you pulling him off of your own property?
It's just the property I'm hunting. Nobody else around that hunts it.
Okay, so
400 acres?
Yeah, the 400 acres. So the wooded part is 400 acres?
Yes, and it's surrounded by fields.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you're seeing him, you're seeing the sign, but you're not seeing the buck?
No, I'm seeing the buck as well.
Just can't get him in bow range.
Right. I mean, you're seeing him. You just can't close the distance. So in other words, he's coming, but he's just not getting him in close enough to kill him.
Right. And I've switched the area. I mean, I switched stand locations on him, and it just seems like he knows when I switch around.
Mm-hmm. You know a longbow will kill him, don't you? Steve's a big man. He's 100%. He don't even know what a gun looks like.
I know it.
But you know, if he's stinking somewhere close, you're gonna shoot him, aren't
I'm
you?
gonna give him heck.
How close have you gotten him into you?
I've got him within like about 50 yards.
50 yards, yeah.
And the area I'm hunting is like in the creek bottom area, so it's kind of thick, brushy area.
Are you using climber or
If he was out in the open, I would take the 50-yard shot. I'm comfortable with that, but in the woods, it's pretty thick.
Use a climber or
comfortable taking the shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Using a climber or a lock on?
Both.
Both, yeah.
You're seeing him. In other words, you're staying in your position and you're seeing him, or are you moving around and seeing him in different places?
Both.
Whenever you move around, are you setting it up and then coming back the next day and hunting that stand?
Yeah, I'll move it and I'll give it a few days and I'll come back in, like if the wind changes and stuff. I mean, if the wind ain't right, like, cause where the bedding area is, if the wind comes from the west, I won't go in there. If it's coming from the north, it's good. The east is good, and the south is bad. So if it's north and east wind, it's perfect. So,
well, I was just saying, sometimes what I'll do, and it's worked before, and I don't know, Don, you correct me if I'm wrong, but if you got a buck like that and he's kind of skirting you, a lot of times what I'll do is, if I see him and he's 50, 60 yards, I'll pick out a tree while I'm sitting there looking. I'll pick out a tree that looks good, or I'll even slip down and go mark it with a bright eye. And then what I'll do is, if I'm gonna come in the next morning or next afternoon or a day or two, I'll just carry in the climber, get up the tree. That way, he's not seeing that climber or smelling that climber. I'm carrying it in with me, and I'll even carry it out with me. It's a little extra work, but he doesn't know. Yeah. I mean, you're getting in there fresh then.
A buck,
right.
You know, a buck, especially a big buck, that buck, your best chance to kill him is first time you go into it.
Right, that first time.
And so, now having said that, bucks, any buck, but certainly an older buck, are very, very, very habitual. At any point during the season, did he go nocturnal on you?
No, he never did go nocturnal.
So basically, there's little to no pressure, and you're seeing him out. Are you using any kind of deer scent?
No, I never did. Never did have to. I mean, he was like, like clockwork. I mean, I pretty much patted him. He's just like, every time I would set up, he'd like use a different trail. I mean, I'd like go to that trail, he'd come out on the next one.
Well, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take your right hand, pull on your right ear. You're going to remember we told you that. We're fixing to help you out. This is what you do. It sounds like you understand the deer and the deer's movement. Now, pressure's not an issue, don't seem like, Steve. Mm-hmm. So what you're trying to do is to close that deal. You're trying to get a kiss, right? So you're trying to close the deal. Here's the way you do that. You want to use Bucky. Are you grunting?
I grunted a couple times, but he never paid much attention to it.
Yep. All right, here's what you want to do. Or have you hunted any? Have you found any secondary scrapes with him, or any primary scrapes?
Yeah, he scraped quite a bit.
All right. What you want to do is just like the last caller, and you're up in Indiana, and he was from West Virginia. Mm-hmm. You need to, Stevens, opening day of bow season, you need to use buck urine. All right. Every day you hunt this year, you use buck urine. Right now, today, 2nd of July, you can take that buck urine and go out there where you hunt on your piece of property, and that buck will come to it. That buck you're talking about, if he's still there, he's going to come to it. Also, the little spike will come to it. They're both coming for the same reason. They're just seeing who the new kid on the block is because they're in bachelor groups right now. They're not mad. They just want to see who the new kid is, but you don't care as long as he comes, right? So opening day of bow season, they're still in bachelor groups and getting ready to come out of bachelor groups. And the first one that's going to leave those bachelor groups is going to be which one? That big boy. And then once he leaves, he's going to start making second rub lines and secondary scrapes where he's going to build him a house during the rut, which is that buck, any buck, is in rut from the time he sheds velvet to the time he drops his antlers, which means he's in rut when?
The whole season. The
entire hunting season. So pre-rut, when he comes out of velvet, he's making those rub lines and stuff. Use buck urine. He's not coming in mad. He just wants to see who the new kid on the block is, right? So when you grunt, grunting is an infringement. We were just telling the caller before, Tim in West Virginia, is that when you use a grunt call, grunting is an infringement. 95% of all grunt calls is a tending grunt. So when you grunt, you're telling Steve, that big buck, another buck's tending a doe. Whose doe? His doe. So when you get up in the tree and grunt and that big buck hears you, he thinks there's another buck tending a doe in his area. Whose doe? His doe. So that big buck, he'll tend to go downwind. Ears, eyes, nose. The reason he goes downwind is he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. Most people, when they grunt, don't use scent, and if they do, they use estrus. Are you married?
No.
Well, let's assume that, pretend that you're married. You come home from the football game tonight, and you walk in your house and you smell Old Spice cologne, flip the light on, and you see your wife. You're not looking for your wife, are you? Who are you looking for?
The man with her.
That's right. Instinctively, you're looking for Old Spice. That's instinct kicks in. So when you grunt, you told that big dude there's another buck in there. He goes downwind. He can't smell it, so his nose overrides his ears and he don't come in, or he does it. You're the classic example of Texas, Steve. You can rattle in Texas, and them dang bucks will run up there, and they'll run up there 30, 40, 50 yards from you and stand there and just pace around you trying to come in. They'll bust right in on top of you because they'll stop because they smell it, they hear it, but now they're looking for it. Can you decoy in Indiana?
The area just so thick where I hunt at, I haven't used it.
If you're bow hunting and you're on the trail, to close the deal, A, get you some buck urine and grunt, ears, eyes, nose. He's going to circle downwind. Any buck, not just that buck, but any other buck there is going to circle downwind because they want to smell what they think they're hearing. So now you smell buck urine. So Steve smells it. He's a big buck. He starts coming in. You whipped his ears. You have now whipped his nose. Now he starts coming in. He's got one more chance to hang up, and that's the visual. Especially if you're at his master bedroom, a primary scrape. He starts looking for what he's hearing and smelling. That's where a decoy comes in. So get you a buck decoy and put it in there, and you'll see a marked difference in that buck's being reactatory to it. If he's a big boy, he ain't going to tolerate much foolishness in the master bedroom.
Yeah, he's a pretty good sized deer. I mean, I've hunted him last year. I've let him go for 3 years, and last year he's finally big enough that I wanted to take him. So.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got the animal. You know him. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is close the deal, which is exactly what you're needing to do. You're needing to close that gap for that bow. And
that buck urine may be all he needs.
That's right. That buck urine, you're confirming what he's smelling. And if you're grunting, all grunting does is puts the deer downwind. In other words, can you see the screen? Can you see? No?
Pardon?
No, I was wondering if you could see the screen. When you go back and watch this show, you'll be able to see where Steve and I are sitting. If this is the primary scrape and the buck goes downwind, what he's doing is he's wanting to smell what he thinks he's hearing. The second thing he's doing is when you grunt, all that does is puts him downwind. When you rattling is an infringement. All that does is puts the deer downwind. They still got to smell what they're hearing because he's going downwind not for any reason. He's going downwind to keep his butt alive. So he wants to smell what he thinks he's hearing. Big difference. And you'll think, wow, man, why hadn't I been using buck urine all along? Big difference. Put it in mock scrapes. Put it in the primary scrape. Add estrus to it in a scrape. Are you familiar with Top Secret?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Just nobody around here carries it yet.
You're in what part? You're in your local sporting goods store doesn't carry it?
Not that I've seen yet.
Well, you go call him and tell him he can call us and he can get it. Because as of this morning, actually yesterday wasn't it? Yeah. Yesterday, if you were to turn on Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Channel, or Wild TV, you're going to see there's like 21,000 commercials.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You'll see it.
So you're not going to be able to turn on TV without seeing Top Secret. So you tell him he might better get him some.
That's right.
And he can call us, and we can get him hooked up with it. Or if you got go to your local retailer and ask for it. If they don't have it, they can get it. And for any reason you can't, you can hit the website
buy it online
and get it online from us.
Okay.
Send us some photographs of that big boy, and when you send it, when you kill him this year, call us and tell us how it went down.
Yeah, I got some trail cam pics of him, so
we want to see that.
Yep. Call us back, and that'll be another segment. You telling how it worked. Hey, listen, if it don't work, call us and tell us it didn't work.
I think that'll work because he never did spook. Nothing spooked him. He never snorted, blew. I never jumped him once that I was aware of.
He needs some encouragement, that's all.
Yeah, you just need to close the deal.
Close the gap. Yeah.
I had my exits planned out. I didn't wait until he went out in the field to feed. I cut in. I had to walk like 400 or 500 extra yards to get around me, to get out to the vehicle, so it wouldn't spook him.
That's what it takes.
So, I took my time to get out, so it wouldn't spook him out.
Yeah, you're the predator, and that's just use that God-given instinct as a predator to, common sense rules, and get you some buck urine. And if you can use a decoy, get you a decoy and put it in there on the trail or around one of those mock scrapes early, pre-rut, certainly around a primary scrape. Mm-hmm. You fill that bad boy up in buck urine and put estrus in it, and he'll be a screwed up dude. You'll have an opportunity to that decoy is going to make him want to come all the way in.
Okay.
And do you have a decoy?
Yeah.
When you go in, take one side of the horns off and put the buck urine on the decoy.
Okay.
Now think about it. Why would you take one side of the horns off? Crazy, ain't it? Why would you do that? That don't make sense. It tells that buck that buck's done had his butt kicked. He's already been in fights, right? So that buck, he'll want a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? He's a troublemaker. And the big boy had to teach him a lesson. So send us some photographs. Call us back and tell us how it works for you.
That will do.
Hey, and I tell your dealers they can get it. If they can't, don't have it, they can call us. We can tell them what distributors, or we can hook them up. And if you can't find it, you by all means go to the website and get you some.
All right.
Hey, we appreciate you calling in.
Thanks so much.
Uh-huh.
All right, man. Thank you. Tell everybody about it.
That will do.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye.
Indiana.
All right.
Big in there,
I'm
don't
gonna, ooh, a 170 class?
Dang. That sounds like he's got a nice
That's a
setup,
boy
too.
dog anywhere. I mean, no
Yeah.
pressure at that.
Man.
Folks, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Can you imagine?
Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Esters, the finest doe esters ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 0.1% club.
Yeah. All right, folks, listen. Look up there on the top of the screen right there, Steve. That says what?
0.1% club.
That means that they can get some of this reserve back here. And folks, listen, you can go to it. Season's coming.
Yeah.
And they still have time. You can join the club. The only way you can join the club is how?
Buy a bottle of
The
26
reserve.
ounce bottle.
And you can get estrus or buck.
Yep.
And guys, listen, it's you can hit the website, hit the button right below you right there, and you can join the club tonight. It is, even though it is the 2nd of July, you can join it, and you can either pay for it which way, Steve?
You can pay for it now, or you can pay for it over 4 payments.
That's right. So which means you can get it today and pay for it today and say, you know what, I'm going to Illinois, I'm hunting just like old Stephen up there in Indiana. I want it September the 30th. Mm-hmm. Or you can hit it and pay 4 payments and say, I want it November the 5th. Mm-hmm. And we'll ship it anywhere in the country to you. And then once you get it, nobody can ever take that bottle away from you. That bottle belongs to you each year as long as you renew and get your bottle. Then nobody can take it away from you. There's 12,000 bottles. It's on a first come, first serve. And you can get it today if you want the very best. Now, even though there's 12,000 bottles of estrus, mm-hmm. there's not but about 1,100 bottles of buck.
Right.
And you hear us preach on this show, buck urine. That's the bucks that we pulled off of those does. So that's the best of the best, 3-4 year old mature doe, never seen oxygen, can't say it don't work, because we pulled that buck off of that doe. So that's in process urine. And folks, you can get yours tonight by joining the club. Hit the website, join it, one or 4 payments, get it, ship it in the fall. All righty, let's see where we at here, guys. Well, Steve, I think we're fixing to go to email.
Facebook.
Right? Facebook.
Here we go. All right, what sets your scent product apart from all the other scents on the market? Well, that's easy.
Well, that's easy. Tell them all about it.
Well, the biggest and giant, big difference is it's oxygen free from collection to bottle.
Big difference, ain't it?
It's just huge.
Ours is oxygen free. Top Secret is single urine, 3 ounces, retails $14.95. Mm-hmm. Everybody else's is $10.95, $12.95 for 1 ounce.
1 ounce.
Our single urine, no oxygen, which means dark urine says an animal was there. Mm-hmm. Clear oxygen-free, clear yellow urine, which is what ours is, and everybody can see that right there. Guys, you can see it in the control room. Is that good enough? That right there is, see how yellow it is? Folks, that means that's never seen oxygen. There is no oxygen in that bottle.
That's right.
And that says when you open it and pour it out, that tells another buck that there's a doe there now. If you, and everybody knows this, if you go to any retailer and you open up the bottle of deer scent, you've picked the company and open it, it is brown. The reason for it, it's ammoniated. Oxygen ammoniates urine. It tells the other animal, brown urine says the deer was there, mm-hmm. but he's not there now.
Right.
Now, I assure you, that old boy in By God, West Virginia called in a few minutes ago, and old Stephen up here hunting that 170 class buck in the cold, he wants that buck to know he's there then, mm-hmm. not that he was there.
Yeah, why not use the freshest?
That's it, Top Secret, and there's the difference. It is a game changer. We have it in liquid and
in foam.
And we have a scent saver. Once you open the little bottle, you can take the scent saver system here. You can pour it in it and pump it out in between using it. So once you open the bottle, you can maintain it without oxygen all the way through the process, and it remains without oxygen. Pretty neat. Now with a foam, you don't need
the scent saver.
And the foam is 8 ounces, retails for $19.95. And folks, that right there is 300 pumps.
Yeah. 300
pumps. And we have it in estrus and buck and regular doe, But that right there, if you use buck urine and you see where I'm at, buck urine and use estrus, you got a buck chasing a doe.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty neat, and we're the only ones with foam. So when which one was it that the big buck, Steven?
Oh yeah.
Playing with you.
Yeah.
The big buck that grunts, he needs to use both. He needs to use buck and estrus.
Yeah.
And how do you put that out?
You just trail it in, a couple of one, couple of the other, a couple of yards other.
Buck doe. Buck doe, buck doe, but got a buck chasing a doe. Hey folks, we're the only ones with it. 8 ounces, 300 pumps, $19.95.
Yeah, you can't beat it.
That's neat. By the way, took the new Alabama state record with that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, fine, and we're the only ones with oxygen free. So that's the difference. Oxygen free, finest cents ever hit the industry. It is a game changer, and it's changing the market all over. If your local dealer don't have it, have them call us. We can hook them up with one of the distributors and certainly set them up direct. But we certainly probably put them through one of our distributors. And if you can't find it at your store retailer and they can't get it in for you, certainly they can hit the website and get it.
Right.
All right. What other kind of Facebook?
Yeah. It says, how close to the decoy do you place your scent? And do you place the attractant in an area around the decoy?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both. And look, I love putting scent on decoys. You know, if you got a camera, video, and you got to find one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Steve's got one on his boat.
Yeah.
So you
brand new one.
So you're going to be able to video. So if you take, now folks, and we're serious now with this, now think about it. And this is a pretty neat deal. It is like what is it? It's like a pro.
Like a GoPro kind of.
GoPro. And so when he pulls, he can video it. Now what you want to video? If you take a buck decoy and put buck urine on it, another buck, and you put that decoy in and around a secondary, or certainly a primary scrape, a master bedroom, you take one side of his antlers off and you put buck urine on his butt, you're going to video that because that's going to get ugly, especially if you're in a primary scrape.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's bad to say, but get you some estrus and put on that buck decoy and video that.
Yeah, I'm all messed up.
It's a sight, folks, I'm telling you. You feel so sorry for them because you can see it in their eyes like, man, that ain't right. Something just flat ain't right. But you'll see them sooner or later kind of look around and think, that nose is going to override and he's going to come in. And you want to video that.
Definitely.
You ought to do that this year and us film that.
All right.
Because, I mean, it's funny. But yes, you can use your decoy, put it on it and around it.
Yeah.
Big difference, like the Stephen that called in that couldn't close the deal on that 170 class buck up in Illinois.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Indiana.
Indiana.
That decoy is that last visual.
Yeah.
That last distance. You grunt, downwind, buck urine, he smells it comes in now, he's looking for the third defense.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the nose will get him in.
Right.
But if he's really mature and he's got some age on him, he's just about got to see what he's hearing and smelling to come on in to close that distance with a bow.
Yeah.
Big difference. All right, what other question we got?
All right, it says, is there any way to get a nocturnal buck to leave his bed during daylight hours?
Yes. It does not always work. It'll work a lot. Very tough, because he's nocturnal for a reason. He's got pressure. It's not no young buck. He's that 170 class buck that Stephen was talking about.
Yeah.
But in his case, that hadn't went nocturnal.
Yeah, right.
He didn't have the pressure. He was just trying to close the distance. But yes, here's what you do. If you got a buck that's gone nocturnal, that typically means he's going to be a good buck. He tends to be an older buck, a more mature buck. He's had pressure on him. You can't hardly grunt his butt out. You can't hardly rattle him out. You know, you may see tracks at night. You may see where he's tearing a scrape up at night, but you don't see him in the daytime. So what you do is you get buck urine. See, we're back to buck urine. You take buck urine, kill your human odor, And we got a fine product for that, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
And that big boy's called what?
Scent Defense.
Scent Defense. Not only does it kill odor, and you're going to see this on all 4 networks, folks, started yesterday. Not only kills odor, but it also what?
It repels ticks, mosquitoes, just about any biting insect.
3 in 1.
Yeah.
Not only kills odor, but repels ticks, mosquitoes,
black fly,
any kind of biting insect, heck, even bed bugs for the camp house. Plus, it's an attractant.
Yeah.
No one's ever been able to do that before. It's on the market. It's available today out there at retailers. If they haven't got it, call us. We'll make sure they get it, or certainly you can get it online.
Website.
But here's the answer. Kill your human odor. Be very consistent. Oh, Steve, here's a big dominant buck, so, you know, pick the day you're going to hunt. You want to go a couple, 2 or 3 days before you hunt. So if you're in driving distance of where you're going to hunt, doesn't matter if Steve, he's a big buck and I'm going to hunt a scrape. Doesn't matter when I go in. Daylight, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, noon. Just be consistent. Kill the human odor. Take your buck urine. People ask us all the time, Steve, how much scent do you use?
Yeah.
General rule, if you can smell it, he can smell it great.
Yeah.
In this case, load his bud up because he's nocturnal. We have a 3-ounce bottle of scent, and I am not trying to get you to use all that scent. I'm telling you, you know you got a nocturnal buck, which tells you got what? A good buck. So he's the very thing you're trying to hunt. Don't be skimpy on your scent at that point. You want to run up there and get in his face. So you take that buck urine, kill your human odor, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock, daylight, because you got to go to work. Ease in there, kill your odor, put it in his master bedroom and leave. Big boy's going to come in that afternoon, that night, and what's he going to do?
He's going to be looking for it.
He's going to be tearing that sucker up because he's got Old Spice in his master bedroom.
Yep.
He's going to tear that sucker all up, mark in it until you get your butt out of there.
Yep.
Next morning, daylight, same time, very, very important. I mean, I'm serious. If you're in there at 7 o'clock, try to be in there the next morning at 7 o'clock. So next morning, kill your human odor, go in, pour it in the scrape, and leave. You don't hang around, leave, go to work. Big boy's going to come in that night again and think, what? I told that sucker to get his butt out of here. Here he's back. Steve's going to tear it all to pieces. He's going to remark it and say, look, dude, can't you read? Keep your butt out of here. Next morning, 7 o'clock, I'm right back in Steve's face. You say, well, Don, that won't work. Let's say you work shift work. I come home Thursday night, I can smell Old Spice cologne at 11:15, so strong as just like he went out the window. All right, I get all mad and have my 2 say about it. Well, next night at 11:15, I come in, I smell Old Spice cologne so strong just like he went out the window. Friday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, I come in just like he went out the bathroom window. What you bet you punch out and come home early the next day. By starting at the same time, it tells Steve when the intruder's there. Top secret is oxygen free, Steve, and that's the difference. When you open that, the first time it sees what?
Oxygen.
Which tells Steve that there's a buck there then.
Right.
So, all right, so let's say you poured out this morning and Steve comes in tonight. And he comes in, smells it. Boom, he's mad. All right, I leave. I come in the next morning at 7 o'clock and I pour this out at the exact same time. So let's say he come in at midnight to it tonight. Tomorrow night, he comes into it at 9 o'clock. It's fresher. It's 3 hours fresher. So the next day he comes in it at noon. It's fresher yet. So the closer he gets to it, the fresher it is. And only Top Secret does that because everybody else's is already...
It's already ammoniated.
Already ammoniated.
Yeah.
Dark urine says the deer was there. Clear yellow says he's there.
Right there, right now.
So buck urine and Top Secret, by putting it in at the same time, will make him, that nocturnal buck, leave and keep coming in.
Changing his times.
You can't hardly run him out. You can't hardly rattle him out. That is his greatest defense, and it's his Achilles heel.
Yep, that's how you'll get him.
You'll get him killed. So try that and let us know. Let's see, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back.
Yep.
You've worked hard all summer to get just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free. From collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Man.
All right.
We got scent defense.
We're
for
sitting
that.
here talking. They then went back live on us.
That's right.
I guess that's what that means in there is we're fixing to go back.
3, 2, 1.
You can tell that we're the only two that don't pay attention to that. All right, man, it's amazing how quick an hour goes by, isn't it?
Man, that's
we're going to
almost-
try to squeeze in
couple more here.
Yeah, a couple more quick ones.
All right, on this one says, my disability prevents me from walking a long distance. Thus, I have to use the ATV to get within a couple of 100 yards of my blind. Do ATVs scare deer? Oh, he has to get within a couple of 100 yards, I
Yeah.
see. He don't have to get it all the way up there. But,
What do you think about that?
well, I think they do. The smell of it, of course, the sound, I think the deer have started to associate it with danger because there's so many in the woods. But you don't, just in the event it does, I would assume it does, we got something for that. We got
That's right.
scent defense.
That's right. You obviously want to, no matter how you get to your stand, you want to kill your human odor.
Right.
I've had a lot of pros and cons on, ATVs. Now, the thing about an ATV or a truck, anything else in the woods, is that when it's in the woods. I mean, all of a sudden there's nothing. All of a sudden there's activity in the woods.
Yeah,
there's
20 of them. Yeah.
There's right. There's the thing. Now, having said that, hunted with an old boy up in Canada, and what he would do, they would take, of course, the guides are there year round, and what they would do, especially on the good places where they had shooting houses, they would go out there every morning. Each guy had a route, and he'd just take his ATV and he'd ride up there to the shooting house, open the door, and shut the door. Boom, shut the door, get on the AVT and leave.
Oh, they got that.
Every day
Routine
they
now.
got that routine every day. I thought, man, how stupid. Then I got thinking, well, habitual association, no danger. All of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
Then they don't worry about it because it's boom.
Yeah.
So you can do it if you got time to do that.
Mm-hmm. Or if it is scaring the deer, Don, then our biggest thing is we are all electric up in our camp.
That's
you
right.
don't have that fuel, that gas smell, so that is really, I think, really helps our.
And that's coming on. That's coming on bigger.
Yeah, and we're hunting a small area where it's very important, that scent.
I wonder, does
yeah.
Quiet Cat have something for some disability?
I'm sure.
A company called Quiet Cat. You can Google them. Pretty neat. It's like a scooter though, and goes. I mean, it's got a lot of power too, don't
Yeah,
it?
it's like a bicycle.
It'll run out money, buddy.
But it'll go up to almost 50 miles an hour.
It's pretty neat. All electric, brand new. And you know what? I believe, guys, you can actually Google or go to Cabela's and find out information. Because I was talking to the guys the other day, and
They've got it.
they don't stock it, but you can get
Get it
through,
dropped
kind of
through.
like
Yeah.
through Cabela's through them. Pretty neat, not that expensive. I forget what was it, around 5,000.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's give you a price, but pretty neat. But yeah, Steve's right. Electric's gonna get
Or
you
electric
closer.
cart. Bad
Right.
boy buggy electric cart, something
Yep,
like that.
something that'll get you in as quiet as possible. But look,
And they're easy to get in and out of too, especially if you got
Yeah.
a disability. They're a lot easier to get in and out of.
and if you got time, and like the guy that was the first one from by God, West Virginia, if he's retired, he's got time. Literally, it makes sense. Go out there, just ride through the woods. Start before season, just ride through.
Yeah.
Through. They're not. Pretty soon, they're not going to associate it. We got a guy that does gun work for us, Terry. He can crank that thing up, and them deer, he'll have 50, 60 deer out there in this field. You ever seen that? That's the dangest sight you ever seen. And just crank it up, and here they come. It's like a dinner
He must
bell.
feed them with it.
He does. It's like a dinner bell.
But now also, I was just thinking about if you got a long distance to go to get to your stand, an electric may not be the thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be walking
The
back.
bad boy does have a hybrid. You can ride with gas up to a
So
certain
far.
point, and
Sneak
then
in.
sneak in there on your sneak mode with your electric. That's not a bad idea.
Yep. Hey, look, and we'll close with this. I was telling Steve at the commercial, we got an old boy lives about 2-3 miles from in Furman, Alabama, Wilcox County, he's pretty neat. Now he's probably watching this thing. He's gonna think I'm an idiot for telling him. He wanted me to, and he's disabled, and he wanted me to ride with him, and he wanted to go show me his food plot. Boy, that was a mistake. Wide open, and he hit a two board bridge, and me screaming, pulling on his hat, slow down, slow. He's hard-headed, not hard-headed, but hard of hearing too. We made it across that. I felt pretty good about that. And all of a sudden, we come up on the food plot, and he drove that sap circle up into the shooting house, drove it up in the shooting house. And I looked at him, he said, man, I'm here. I said, I'm glad.
I'm gone.
So literally, he drives his four-wheeler up into the shooting house and sits in the window and shoots.
Hey, you do what you got to do. That's
man,
nice.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But get you something quiet, and maybe that'll help you out. All right, folks, it's an hour. They're saying it's. We got time for one more?
Oh, okay,
wait a minute. We got, doggone it. We'll get another one here real quick, all right?
How often should I use doe estrus? Every time I go out, every other time, etc.?
Depends on what time of year it is.
Yeah, it's peak of the rut.
Yep, peak of the rut. Rule of thumb, anywhere in North America, once you start seeing a buck chase a doe,
use
estrus. Yeah. From then all the way to the end of deer season.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere in North America, once you start seeing the first doe being chased, start using estrus. Now that's not the peak. Mm-hmm. The peak is when the majority of the does are standing and not running. That's the peak. The word estrus means an animal will stand, not run. It always fascinates people when because they get that confused, and you say, well, how many of you ever seen a buck chase a doe? And hands go up. Why do you think that doe's running? And they think about it a second, because she's not ready. That's right. The peak is just that. It means the peak, that's when the majority of them are standing and not running. Mm-hmm. There is a time in which, anywhere in North America, where you hunt, where Stephen hunts, where who's Tim in West Virginia, wherever they hunt, there is a time in which on that piece of property, the majority of the does are standing. Mm-hmm. That's called the peak for where you are. But once he starts chasing does, rest of the year,
use it every time,
all the way to the end of season, and you never quit using buck urine.
Use that buck urine.
Buck urine, buck chasing doe, add estrus, trail it in, buck chasing a doe. All righty, it's amazing. Doggone it, an hour goes by quick. But hey, get your questions, talk to your friends, tell your dealers if they ain't got it, call us, we'll get it. We can hook them up with one of our distributors anywhere in the country, and ask your dealer to carry it. If you don't, he can call us, we can get him hooked up. And if you can't get a dealer, certainly call us, hit the website. We'll make sure you get you some top secret in time to kill you a buck, to call us to tell us about it.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Show us some pictures on it.
Show us some pictures. That's right. We like pictures. All right, folks, listen, we appreciate you calling in, and we'll see you next week, every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We'll see you next week.